Guys, so today we are going to be replacing the radiator on this here 2001, I think it is, 1500 Silverado. So we're gonna start by taking off all these little panels, the fan shroud. We're gonna take this off, get more access, and yeah, we'll start with that and I'll come back to you. So on this particular radiator, as you can see right there, that's where it busted. And yeah, it's just leaking it out every time I try to fill it up. So when you're taking this thing out, you're gonna have these connections right here, and to remove those, hold on, let me find my tool that I just dropped. Here we go. Okay, so when you're removing this fan shroud, you're gonna have these little clips right here. As you can see, you're just gonna pop up that little center section with a little screwdriver, and then you just pull the whole thing out. It's really easy to do. This whole job is actually pretty simple. Okay, so you'll have these little clips holding the transmission cooler lines on. And so you just take a little flat screwdriver and you can just go up in there and just kind of get up in there. I say that, and then now I'm trying to do it with one hand and I can't do it with one hand. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, and that pin comes out of there, and then you can just pop the line right off. The new radiator is going to come with new ones, so don't worry about protecting it. These obviously have the little squeeze clamps that you'll remove. Those are easy, just like this one does too. And then yeah, once you get all of these connections off, then you can pull it out. You will have to reuse your rubber bushings right here, because the one that we got showed them there, but they weren't there, so you're gonna need to reuse them. Yeah, so all right, so we got the new one in, and when you're putting the new lines on, it'll come with the clips already in place after you've put these connections on, and you don't have to take the clips back out. You can just shove it on there. That's all it's gonna take. And then obviously put this back on there, boom, and put that back on there like that, boom. Very easy. So let's see here, we also got to hook up, sorry. So this goes back over here and all this good stuff. So gonna hook up this. Like I said, I've already got the part back in. This goes down here, it goes into this little spot right here, and then we'll put that little clip on there. And yeah, like I said, this radiator replacement is actually fairly easy. Now the most challenging part that you're going to find is filling the radiator. So when you fill it, you actually have to fill it through the surge tank. So right now I have topped it off. Now I'm going to crank it up and let her idle, and while she's idling and getting up to temp, she will then start circulating the water into the radiator, and then I will continue to fill this up until she's done. So once you've filled this up, you'll notice that when you're filling it up that it's just going to start continuously going down, because as the water pump runs, it's going to be pulling that water from here. Well, it's trying to pull the water from the radiator, and when there's nothing there, then it pulls it from here. And then once it pulls it from here, it goes into the radiator. You're going to probably want to I tend to like to rev it up to about 1500 to 2000 RPMs. That way you're forcing the engine to cycle, and the pump actually runs, the water pump runs. You're able to flow and get everything out, you know, and actually get it to where it needs to go. You're also going to have it on an incline. Just the only reason why you want to have it on incline is so that all the bubbles from the back of the engine will actually come forward to the front of the engine, and it's going to be a lot easier to bleed the system out that way. And if you don't have a hill, you can always just jack up the front end, drive up on some ramps. Either way, you just want to get that front end up so that like I said, all the bubbles come up here to the front of the vehicle. I'm gonna sit here, let it get up to temp, run and everything like that. And I'm gonna keep an eye on this right here, and this should lower over time. Not much, because I mean, as you put it in there, this engine was actually fairly warm already, so it just kind of like was already there. But if yours is not warm, then you're gonna obviously want to get it up to temp before the thermostat's actually going to open and allow it to flow the water through the engine. So if you just try to do it with cold and you don't let it warm up, then you're not getting fluid into the engine. What you're going to find is that you're going to still overheat and everything like that because of the air in the system, or you're also going to be like half empty. So like I said, just let it idle, just take your time, make sure all the bubbles get out, and just keep an eye on this. Make sure this does not drain empty, because this is where you're getting your fluid from. And yeah, so got it up to temp, and yeah, it's not leaking. It's done pulling fluid into the radiator. It has done everything it needs to do now. Basically, I'm just going to leave it where it's at and have them check it periodically throughout the time, just to make sure that it continues to, you know, no issues or anything like that. So as a recap, to do this, you've got, I removed this cover, but you don't necessarily have to. And then you also gotta have to remove the fan shroud. You do not have to remove the lower one. You can just kind of slide it out of the way. Then this is a 13 millimeter. This is a 10 millimeter. This is a 19 millimeter or a 3/4. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's really about it. It's probably one of the easiest things. Like I said, the most challenging part is filling the radiator. And if you just follow the simple steps, it's actually not going to be that hard to do either. So thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. If you have any questions, drop me some comments and I'll do my best to answer them for you, okay?